Hi, everyone. This is Rivera's son for Bene and Campaign Nonviolence, and I'm here with my colleague Danielle Lee, who is the project manager for the James Lawson Institute, and we're putting together a collection of short videos that share key insights into how nonviolent struggle works. Danielle's an amazing trainer and been doing this work for a long time, and today we wanted to talk a little bit about how to develop a successful campaign for change takes more than just doing a single protest, and some of the key things we might want to know about that.
Yeah, and I think one of the most illustrative campaigns on this point is the Montgomery Bus Boycott. I think it'd be useful for people to imagine, for an instance, if the Montgomery Bus Boycott got incredibly organized. They got everyone in the Black community and allies in the white community to participate, and they boycotted the buses for one day. Like, how successful would they have been? How successful would they have been if they boycotted the buses for one day, but didn't say anything? Like, didn't make any demands, didn't do any follow-up, didn't have any support for the people who don't have cars to actually get to and from work, or to and from school, or to and from the grocery store to buy their necessities. I think the point here is that the Montgomery Bus Boycott was a campaign. It was not an action. It was an action that took place over a very, very long series of weeks with many essential elements. One of the great stories that has been going around the last few years is of this older Black woman who basically spent most of her time in the Montgomery Bus Boycott cooking food, feeding the protesters, but also raising money to buy gas and to buy supplies so that people who were driving didn't have to, go poor by giving other people rides. And for people, basically for people to be able to subsist for as long as the boycott lasted. There are so many different points in a campaign that you need to consider in terms of having success, that just having a march one day, having a boycott one day, or doing anything in a limited time span will not get you. It's great to show force, but if you don't back that up with some type of consequences, and we're still gonna be boycotting the buses unless we get integration, unless we get whatever other demands. Integration in terms of all public places was the actual demand, not just the buses. But that couldn't happen if they only did one day on a bus. So there are a lot of campaigns these days that have either one tactic and it's time limited to one day and they expect to achieve success. But if you're looking at a campaign, you need to look long-term, you need to have goals, you need to have multiple tactics within your strategy.
Yeah, so all of you who are part of Campaign Nonviolence, this is a long-term movement and you really got to start thinking like one. So just remember that your campaigns are really going to be your building blocks of the arc of your movement. Your movement's going to have some broad goals. It's going to have very ambitious things that you want to achieve. But your campaigns is where you break that down into achievable steps that you can actually climb up cumulatively like a staircase. And when it comes to actions, that's like the bricks and mortar of those steps, right? So you're going to try to pair actions. If you think about the Montgomery Bus Boycott again, you had the civil disobedience of Rosa Parks, but you also had the boycott, as Daniel mentioned. You also had the constructive program of the ride share, which actually had to incorporate as a taxi service in order to operate. You had the bake sales that were going on. You had the speeches at the churches and the trainings. You had flyering and leafleting. There were a lot of actions happening. And, Daniel, I was so glad to hear you mention that story that's been circulating lately, because I always say to people that not all of us can risk arrest with civil disobedience. Not all of us are going to be incredible public speakers like Dr. King, but every single one of us can find a place in the campaign that contributes. So if you can't be Rosa Parks, be that bake sale lady. And if you're the organizer of the movement, remember that without those bake sale ladies, you're not going anywhere in that campaign, right? Everyone plays a role. Everyone is equally valuable and valid in the campaign. So yeah, think beyond that one-up protest. Anything else you want to add here, Daniel?
Not really. I think you hit it on the nose. Think beyond the one-off protest and make sure that there is a role for everyone to play. Because the more roles there are for people to play, the broader your constituency is, the more people know about your campaign, the more people go from being passive observers to active participants.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Get strategic out there.